In the previous video, we understood what is slope, correct? Now let's try to understand more about slope, and we'll also understand like what do you mean by orientation of the line and everything. Okay. Now let's start with the most basic thing about slope as to what it is. Again, let's just a quick recap. Suppose say you have the coordinate axis and say you're going to have a line, some line which goes like this. Now for this, we have an angle theta and 2 points. Assume that 2 points are here. So this is A and say this is B. 2 points are there. Now what we do, we'll take tan of the angle theta. This gives us the slope of the line with respect to the x-axis. So tan theta is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Difference in the ordinate and difference in the abscissa, the ratio of these two. This is going to give us the slope. Now generally slope is given by m. So m is equal to, either we can write y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 or delta y over delta x. This gives us the slope. Now remember, whenever we talk about the slope, it's always the angle, tan of the angle. More the angle we have, more is going to be the slope. Lesser the angle, lesser is going to be the slope. Fair enough? Now, in this case, what exactly do we understand when someone tells you that slope of a line is 1? Slope of a line is root 3. See, 1 is with respect to the angle, which is quite obvious, like mathematically speaking. In the sense, suppose if I say that the slope of the line, so this value is equal to 1. Slope is given by what? Tan theta. So tan theta is 1. Theta is going to be 45 degree. Or you can say pi by 4 radian. Anything is fine. So, now, mathematically speaking, you understand that it's at 45 degree. But whenever we look into straight lines, and especially straight lines in coordinate geometry, it's more than just mathematical way of solving. You have to also think about it in an intuitive way. That means you have to start visualizing things. Like this is how it is. This is what is going to happen. Now, this exactly is what I mean by the word orientation of the line with respect to the axis. Okay. Now, whenever you come across the slope, suppose say some slope is m is equal to 1.5, 3 by 2, which is not a standard angle. Now, you should be able to visualize and you should be able to understand how the line is how the line is placed within the xy plane, the coordinate plane. That's what I mean by intuitively understand the meaning of slope. All right. Now let's do a couple of simple exercises so that you guys can understand what it is. Now here, when we say that slope tan theta is equal to 1, we understood that theta is equal to 45 degree, correct? Suppose say my slope is more than 1, maybe like 1.7, 1.8, maybe 2, something like this, which is not a standard angle. Then how the slope is going to be? What is the slope? Slope, anyway, it's more than 1. How the line is in the orientation with respect to x-axis. Let's try to understand that one now. Suppose say we have the slope of the line to be, let's say, 1.9. Now, to understand this, first we have the x and y axis. Always remember, 45 degree line is what we call as the baseline. Okay. So here, this line is going to be the baseline. It's a 45 degree line. That means for this line, slope is 1. Correct? Slope is 1. Now, anything more than 1 or anything less than 1. So, whenever we have the line, this is 1.9. So, the line is going to be more than 1. That means the line is going to be above the 45 degree line. This is one way of telling. That means we can either say the first point is above the 45 degree line. Either this you can tell, one way of telling, or another way of telling is the line is towards the y-axis. towards the y-axis. Or another way of telling is that the line is much steeper compared to the 45-degree line. So there are three ways of telling that the slope of 1.9, what is the orientation of this particular line. Fair enough? So when we say m is equal to 1.9, intuitively I want you guys to visualize the line is going to be something like this. This is going to be line. Or you can say the line will have an orientation this way. Why that orientation? I'm specifying it again and again. The reason is the line can be something like this, correct? Or the line can also be something like this. Or the line can be something like something like this also. Even this can also be the line. So here what we are looking at, all the three lines, they have the same orientation. They all have the same degree of the gradient, isn't it? But their all the three lines, their specific positions are different. That's why whenever I talk about orientation of a particular line, you always should understand that we are looking only with respect to an angle. So slope defines the orientation. Slope defines the angle. So for any straight line, one of the parameters which defines and also which is a very important parameter of a straight line is this slope. Okay, and mathematically we understood how to calculate, and I'm sure after this you guys also understood what we mean by the orientation of a line. Okay, now in the next video we'll try to understand more about the how to get the equation of a line.